Hello, and welcome to Engineer's Box. Now today I want to go over a couple of things. First of all, where I've been, what I've been doing, and the content we'll be doing today, but also where content's going to be heading in the future. So first of all, where have I been? Well, recently I've been having some exams at school. Since I'm in my last year of high school, they're pretty important. You could argue differently, but to me they're fairly important. Anyway, so yeah, I've been doing some exams at school. I think they've gone pretty well. We'll see the results soon. But either way, those are over for now, and I'm in my holiday period at the moment, so I might do a few more videos at the moment. Yeah, so, also, another thing is content. At the moment, I'm kind of going to switch up content a little bit. I want to be a little bit more oriented towards more plugin and resource pack type stuff than it is command blocks. Kind of just a bit of change of interest more than anything. Not to worry, I'll still do some command block stuff, just not as much as I have been doing. And yes, the custom command mod pack will still go ahead, but at a slower pace. That's alright, you can still expect that to happen sometime in the future. Who knows when. Alrighty, now that we've got that out of the way, let's head into today's content, which is actually talking about a plugin. Now, plugin's a bit interesting. It's actually built for a server, Diverging Realms. If you haven't already checked it out, I'll leave the IP in the description, and also the Discord link. So basically the idea is it provides an inventory and a means of adding blocks to an inventory so that you can display all the different variants of blocks within biomes. So within the resource pack that we have at the moment, we've got different variants of things for different biomes. So let's take a look at this plugin. So what we've got is, if I type in BP help, then it brings up this little help menu. First of all, you can see that we've got just straight up BP, which is the interface. We've got a tool, we've got some biome stuff, we've got some chunk info stuff. There's all sorts of things in here. So let's go to the first one, which is just straight up BP. This opens a little block palette inventory, and what we've got in here is just a few different preset biomes where we can add blocks and things like that into it. So say we take a look at desert, and we have this inventory, and it does have pages, so you can add as many blocks as you want, pretty much. And this is the same for all of these. I've already added a couple of things in here. These are just default things as examples, and they're just basically custom models for items using a specific name. Pretty simple, really. So let's take a look at BP tool. Now, if you do that, then it actually gives you this tool here. And as the description says, it alters block-specific biomes. So if we have a look, take this tool and just right-click it on a block, we can see that we have biome not set. Now, the way we set the biome is BP, set biome, and biome. But how do we actually set a biome? Because I could use all sorts of different ways of doing this. So we can also use, up here, BP biome list to find out what the biomes are. And if we do so, then it gives us just this little list of each of the ways that the biomes set out. So you can see that they're all lowercase and they have no spaces in between. Pretty simple, just makes it easier. I will add more biomes in the future, but for the moment, this will be satisfactory. So if we do BP set biome and desert, for example, do that. Now if we take a look, see it says plains just up the top here, right there. Now if we move over to the block, it says desert now. See? Desert. Plains, desert. This works pretty well. So actually I've pre-made a custom biome specific block for stone slabs to add regular stone slabs. So if I just set that one back to normal, as you can see, I place the stone slab down, nothing really happens to it. Pretty standard, all good. If I do BP set biome extreme hills, you can see it turns to a actual stone slab, something that honestly I wanted for a while. So there you go. It's pretty simple, not much going on. At the moment, it just sets the column that the block is in to that biome. In future, I will change it. Hopefully I'm going to find a way to be able to do it as a single block. I think there is a way to do it, but in the moment it's a bit of an iffy thing. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. That tool is very useful for that sort of thing. there's also another interesting thing, which is if we set this back to Extreme Hills, we can change this to a different state. Now, you can see that there's also Get Biome. When you enable Get Biome, you can use the tool to find out what the biome of a specific block is. So if you do BP Get Biome Enable, and we right click on here, we can see that it gives us the value Extreme Hills, which is correct. It is Extreme Hills. Also, there is Chunk Info. Now, Chunk Info is an important one if you want to find the exact value of a chunk in terms of its location from the origin, which is spawn. So if we do Chunk Info Enable, and we right click, it also gives us the chunk location, which is also pretty useful. Now keep in mind that this is from the origin of spawn, and it's centered around there too. Pretty useful. It also does give negative values when you're moving in negative directions and things like that, so that's useful. So if we can leave those enabled, or we can disable them, but I'm going to leave them enabled for the moment so that I can show you the settings, which is BP settings. Now you can see that this just shows you what the settings for Get Biome and Chunk Info are. So if I turn off Chunk Info and we go back to settings, you can see that it is now disabled. Likewise for Get Biome, if I disable that, go to settings, it's now disabled. Pretty simple, pretty easy to use. So let's go back to BP Help. A couple of things I want to go over. BP Add, arguably probably the most important one of them all, and we'll get to that in a second. BP Version, BP Reload, and BP Help obviously. Help just opens this menu. Version displays the current version of the plugin, as you can see, and it just uses a simple get method from the plugin.yml. Fairly simple, pretty universal. BP Reload is if you want to reload the plugin. I'm not going to do it at the moment because I have it actually wanting to do stuff at the moment. I don't really want to go through the process again, but we'll leave it for the moment. That's cool. So, BP Add. You can see the syntax is BP Add, and then a biome, a block, and a name. Now keep in mind that the block is actually the material list. Now, the material list is part of the plugin, the Bukkit API. And I'll leave a sort of list screenshot thing on the screen at the moment with all of those on there. It's a massive list of every single name of the block and the actual type of it. Now keep in mind that it's not the same as the IDs in game as say Minecraft Iron Ore. It's not iron_ore for everything, or it may not be. So for example, for slabs, it's not stone_slab, rather it's step. Kind of interesting, but eventually I'll make a system which can incorporate your standard Minecraft expressions and convert them to the material list so that it makes it a hell of a lot easier, but for the moment, that's all good. So, say we want to add this to the inventory. Now, to do that, you actually have to have a custom item within a resource pack. So in this case, I've actually just created one within the resource pack I have on at the moment, which happens to be the Diverging Realms one, Metafault. And it's for this item right here, and I'm going to add it to the Extreme Hills biome. So we do /BP add, so we do biome, Extreme Hills, and now the block. Now keep in mind this is a step, so we do step, and then name. In this case, the name is pretty simple. It's just going to be stone_slab. You can see that it gives us a message that it's added it to Extreme Hills, and if we do BP, go to Extreme Hills, we can see that we've added it into here. Pretty simple, fairly easy to use. You can do this as many times as you like. Currently, there is no way to remove items from this inventory, but that will become available in the future, as I'll just do a query method to find an item within an inventory that matches that name and the material value, and then just remove it. Pretty simple, it's not hard to do, but for the moment, just adding, and you can also do it by hand within the infconfig.yml file, which you'll find in the plugins folder within Block Palette plugin. Pretty simple. So, I think that just about covers it. It's not much else to really go over. It's a pretty simple plugin. Gives you a lot of sort of versatility in terms of working with biomes, and you can do it block by block and things like that. Pretty simple, pretty easy to use. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and apparently I've gone invisible. That's a thing. Oh well. So, I might just leave you guys to it. As always, I'll catch you guys in the nearest of futures. And I'm still invisible.